Hi, if you clicked on this video, please be advised that we will be talking about menstrual cups, blood, and inserting a cup into your vagina. It's been 3 cycles since I started using OriganiCup. I am never going back to pads. Let's rewind. I purchased a menstrual cup to help reduce waste. I purchased OriganiCup because they align with my values. They're vegan, they're minimal waste, they help the environment, they also help women in need of menstrual materials. If you think about it, a woman uses 528 pads in 2 years. That's a lot of pads. So I wanted to do my part and help the environment. And also I wanted to try something different that would be sustainable for myself too, not having to purchase a lot of pads every time I start my cycle. The first time using a menstrual cup, it was a struggle. Okay, it was something new for me, and I just automatically expected it to be easy because it's something I wanted to do and I was ready to dive all in, but it was an experience. But let's start with how to use the cup. When I received the cup, it came right in time for my cycle. I used a pot to boil and sanitize the cup because it's going inside of my body. Then I had to get used to thinking about this going inside of my body. I read all the instructions and the different methods of folding the cup to insert. And when I realized which one I wanted to do, which one I felt comfortable with, I then tried to insert it. It was very difficult because one, I am not a person that uses tampons, so using a cup to insert was very uncomfortable for me. And especially since I have a prolapsed bladder, having the cup inserted and not putting it in the right position, obviously because it's been 3 months since first receiving it, I know that I was doing it wrong. So it was kind of like uncomfortable. So I was walking and I felt it and I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, my excitement is going down from when I purchased it. So once inserting it and realizing I think something's wrong and having a little bit of issues like one, leakage, right? So I had to get pads. Luckily, I still had some pads. My thing is I wanted to jump right in. So I was like, I'm not going to use a pad. I got this, very confident in myself that I'm going to accomplish this, figuring out how to use it the right way. But I ended up leaking all over myself. And thank God it is a stay at home quarantine. So I wasn't outside uncomfortable with the leakage. So basically, I would just go in the shower and take it out and fix it again. Obviously, the first cycle was very difficult and a little frustrating, I must say. The struggle was real because it was something I got my hopes up on working, and I just felt defeated, especially waking up after day 3 using it. Knowing my body, day 2 and day 3 are the heaviest period, and it leaked all over the bed. I had a towel on my bed, but also it leaked through a little bit. So that was a lot for me to deal with. If you've had that experience, you know what I mean and how I felt. So once my cycle was done, I just took it out and sanitized it and packed it away. And I was still kind of excited for the second cycle, but kind of like, oh my gosh, do I really want to do this? Should I go by pads, On cycle 2 of using the OriganiCup, I went in knowing that I had this issue during the first cycle and I'm gonna conquer this in the second time trying. So what I did was I just kept checking every now and then when I felt like it was uncomfortable. Inserting it in became a little bit easier and I became more comfortable with inserting something into my vagina. So realizing how my bladder my prolapse bladder, how it is, how it feels, and also exploring like where my cervix is. I also went onto OriganiCup's Facebook page. They have a closed group for OriganiCup users, and basically everyone shares their feedback on how it's going, how their journey is going. So I learned that, after giving birth to children, sometimes your cervix can change its position. And I realized mine was lower and pointing up. So it's key to know where your cervix is. And when you insert the cup, it has to basically, when you push the cup in, I'm going to use my hand. So when you push the cup in, if this is your pelvic bone, once you insert into your vagina, you have to make sure the cup is right by your cervix bone. Your pelvic bone. So, and then the piece will be hanging out. So I didn't know where my cervix is. So I realized that I need to figure this out. And once I figured this out, the cup ended up the suction held and I did not leak, and I was super excited. But also remember that this happened maybe like day 2 or day 3 after I realized, wow, I slept overnight for day 2, and I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I went to go because I knew my period was going to be heavy, so I need to wake up a little bit earlier to change it and rinse it out. And it was full. It was like the right, perfect right time. It did have a little spot on my pad and my liner, but it did not leak like it did in the first cycle incident. So I woke up and I was like, yes, I did it right. And I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel like it was like poking my clitoris. It didn't feel like it was hanging loose, like it's gonna pop out. So I just went, showered, rinsed it out, and then inserted it right back in the shower, because that's how I feel more comfortable putting it in while on my period. Obviously, I'm gonna get used to it where I can be comfortable just sitting on the toilet and pushing it in and taking it out, rinsing it out. But at that point in time, during my second cycle, I was like, yes, I feel accomplished. I'm figuring this out. Now on my third cycle, I felt like a pro. On day 2 and day 3, which are my heavier cycles, I realized I cannot wait till the 12-hour period of pulling out the cup. And that's a perk. That is a perk, because you don't have to keep going to the bathroom to change a pad, right? You can have this cup in the max 12 hours. But I realized for day 2 and day 3, I need to take it out within 4 hours because my period is very heavy. And my cup, every time I pull it out by around 4 hours, it's full to the line. And I'm just like, whoa, like this is crazy. For this amount of period in this cup, I would have probably changed like 5 pads already. And just knowing that it's just this cup and I just have to throw it down the drain or throw it down the toilet, it's like, whoa, like I'm saving money, and then 2, I'm saving the environment. So I was very ecstatic. The only thing is that I had to wake up at a certain time on day 2 and day 3 while sleeping to change, but I feel like that's better than me having to wear a pad and then feeling that uncomfortableness in your butt area of feeling blood. That was the worst thing I hate about having my period. I didn't have severe cramps usually, but after having kids, I did start getting more cramping. But like one of the things I hated about having my period was feeling the blood crease into your butt. And that was and then it's sticking and crusting sometimes. It was the worst. So to have a cup where I just pull it out, I know it's TMI, but to have a cup to just pull and dump into the sink and then rinse it out with soap. I use Dr. Bronner's soap to just like a little drop to rinse it out and then put it right back in. It's a perk to me. And then also the fact that like once your cycle is done, all you have to do now is wash it again and then sterilize it and put it right back into the pouch. Easy breezy. So what I've learned learned with using OriganiCup is that you have to purchase a reusable liner. Obviously, I haven't purchased one yet because I still have some pads and liners from my cycle 1 and cycle 2. But once I'm done, I definitely want to make sure that I do have a reusable liner to use going forward, only because I am on this journey of sustainable living. The second thing I've learned is that purchasing a pot that's separate from cooking is beneficial. You're going to feel awkward using a pot that you cook with to sterilize your cups. So if you're deciding to purchase one, definitely buy a pot with it. Third, being comfortable with your body is a must. I'm not used to putting my hands in my vagina while on my period, and especially like making sure that the suction is held in. So getting those experiences in cycle 1 and cycle 2, I realized I have to get over this hump. I want to learn how to use this cup the right way, so I have to get in there and figure it out. So definitely try to get comfortable with your body, touching blood and making sure that everything is good down there in order to have a successful usage of the cup. And the fourth thing that I've learned is that the amount of blood that comes out during your cycle, it's a lot, right? But in terms of using a pad, it seems like it's way more than it is. In the cup, on one day, it's like here. If this is the size of the cup, it's like here. And you're like, that's a little bit of blood, but it's also a lot of blood when you use a pad. When you use a cup, it's like you see the amount. And it's like, wow, like this is coming out of me. And I can't believe it. This is how much comes out of me every day for 5 days. It's crazy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment below if you decide to purchase the OriganiCup and tell me how your experience have been. Thank you for watching.